I just think I just love the way they play. I just something about the team. Like I always envision Cardinal birds, because they actually are. Well, that's how they became the Cardinals, and they're also called the Redbirds. That's their minor league affiliate. But I think I just really started to get into like the groove of how they play.
Aloha, everyone. Welcome to Connect the Dots. I'm your host, Ezra White, from Guide Dogs of Hawaii. This is a safe place for blind and visually impaired individuals to come together, share experiences, and learn from each other. In this month's episode, we're going to be taking a little twist on things. Now, as you all know, we usually have an individual come in, either in person or over the phone, and talk about what activity or what sports they did while being blind or having a visual impairment. But this month we figure we shake things up a bit and we get somebody who not necessarily plays any sports, but who often regularly watches it on television or listens to it on the radio. And that's what we decided this month's episode to be about. So without further ado, this month we'll be interviewing Kimani. He is a longtime personal friend of mine. I believe he's been on the podcast about a couple once or twice before, but this month he's going to talk to you folks about his experiences and how he watches baseball. He's a very large, very big baseball fan, and he has been for a number of years before he started getting serious about it. So, without further ado, let's begin. All right, Kimani. Well, thank you for allowing us to interview you about your sports. So, why don't you tell us what is your favorite sport that you like to watch or listen to?
Oh well, thank you for having me here, first of all, and I greatly appreciate it. And I'm glad to be here and glad I could do this. For my favorite sport, I would say baseball.
Baseball. Okay, right on. What got you into that?
I just think once I started listening to it, and I kept listening to it more and more consistently, and I began to understand the game more and was able to follow it and follow like every detail and just be something I just decided to I got myself more into.
That's pretty cool. So, I guess since we're talking about baseball, and this might start a war amongst our audience depending on your answer. But who's your favorite team?
Yeah, for sure. For me, I would say I gotta say the St. Louis Cardinals.
St. Louis Cardinals. Okay, yeah, I heard of them. What made you choose the Cardinals? Is there a specific reason why you chose them?
I just think I just love the way they play. I just something about the team. Like I always envision Cardinal birds, because they actually are. Well, that's how they became the Cardinals, and they're also called the Redbirds. That's their minor league affiliate. But I think I just really started to get into like the groove of how they play, and I also enjoy their radio announcers that they have, especially the longtime Hall of Famer. His name is John Rooney, and he used to be previously with the Chicago White Sox, but then ever since 2006, he's been with the St. Louis Cardinals, and he's still going today. So
Oh wow, well, it's a long time then. Now, about what was that 17 years?
yeah,
Okay. What was his name again?
John Rooney.
John Rooney. Yeah. Okay. Right on. Um, so you said one of the reasons why is because of the cardinal bird. Could you talk about that? What do you mean by that?
Oh, for sure, absolutely. I would say, for me, especially growing up in Hawaii, and I always was used to waking up every single morning, and as soon as I wake up, and or as soon as I go outside, even then I hear the birds, and I learned to identify the Cardinal sounds, like the sounds that they make. I know it sounds crazy and all that, but I mean, I learned uh, the sounds that they make just by hearing them, and I don't know, it's just very fascinating to me for some reason.
Yeah, and you don't live in Hawaii anymore, yeah?
No,
No.
definitely miss it though.
Yeah. Is that another reason why you chose it? Does it remind you of home or something?
Yeah, 'cause I
Yeah.
don't hear you don't hear that over here. I know that much. So
Yeah. Yeah.
you don't hear nothing over here in the morning, actually. But I mean, yeah, that's a story for another time.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. Wow. That's awesome. So, continuing on this subject, do you have a favorite player from the St. Louis Cardinals?
I would say between Nolan Arenado and the other one would probably be Lars Nootbaar. But if I had to pick one, I'd probably choose Nolan Arenado.
Okay. And why is that? Could you tell us about him?
Um, I just like his energy, and he's always has a positive attitude when he's in the game. And he was also an All Star, and he's also similar to another player as well, which was Paul Goldschmidt. But Nolan Arenado, he is really good. He plays the game really well, and we can tell just by watching him and listening to how he plays. Like he has a lot of power at the plate, so he definitely a lot of pitchers like when they pitch, then they're very careful with what they throw to him because he just might hit one out of there. They might
Yeah.
throw him something, and then he just might get a hold of it and he just hit it right out of there, and then it's gone.
Oh, wow.
So like one pitch, like just like they say in the game, once all it takes is one swing of the bat to change the game. So
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Well, that's pretty cool. Could you explain? I probably should have asked you this earlier, but could you explain for those people who might not know exactly what the rules are or how baseball works? Could you explain how that works, what the structure of the game is, the different positions if you know them?
oh yeah, for sure, most definitely. So basically they have there's the pitcher of course, so he's the one who throws to the hitters. They have first baseman, second baseman, and third baseman. They have a shortstop who's like in short field. So when the ball is hit, depending on where each player is at, they have infielders, outfielders. So if like, kind of like when the ball goes farther, like then you have guys who are more on the outfield, and then some on the in the inside of the field, and of course the shortstop. So when the ball goes to short field, then they call it short. So and basically they have the hitters, and when they hit, then it takes three outs. So if the once the first hitter is out by either through a strike, like you get strike one, strike two, or strike three,
Mm-hmm.
then you can the pitcher could either strike him out that way, or sometimes if the ball is hit to one of those players like I was mentioning earlier, then he would be he would be out if the ball is caught. But usually, once there's three strikes and if they all get struck out, then that's three outs, and then it ends the inning. Or like they start at the top of the first inning and then bottom of the first, and then each team rotates between. So, say if like the opposing team would be oh, I don't know, the Milwaukee Brewers, then they bat first, and then the Cardinals would come up at the bottom of the first inning, and then it would just continue on from there all the way. They threw uh, nine innings, so altogether that would be 27. You need 27 outs to complete the game since there's three outs in each inning.
Okay. Oh, wow. And how long about do these games last?
I would say, well, with the new rule changes that they have recently implemented, they have a what they call a pitch clock. So they time the pitchers like he has a certain amount of time to throw a pitch. Um, in order for it never used to be that before, but now um, they were starting to say that the game started to become like too long, like going over 3 hours. But
I
now they
see.
figure like the with the pitch timers, it kind of helps keep the game on track,
Yeah.
and it brings the game down actually by like now the games are usually only like 2 hours and 45 minutes now, so it cuts the game down by by like just about 20 minutes, like it instead of going longer.
Oh, wow, okay, interesting. All right, that's awesome. So it went from over 3 hours to just um about two. You said two and a half, 2 hours and 45 minutes.
Just about.
Okay, oh, pretty cool. So how do you? What was the question? How do you, I guess, view or watch or listen to a game? Do you go in person or do you watch it online?
Oh, well, usually if I can't go in person, then I just use TuneIn Radio because they have all the different games that they stream on there. I prefer to listen to the radio feed. It's just because it's a lot more very detailed compared to the TV feed. And sometimes the TV feed, they just talk and they don't really describe everything that's really going on. Not compared to the radio feed, it's a different experience. And
Right.
basically, think of it as audio description. So,
Okay. Oh, yeah, yeah. So I probably should have sort of said that. So you're totally blind. Yeah, you can't see anything.
yes.
Yeah. Okay. So what you're saying is the live stream on the television is it's a lot more visual, so the
Yeah,
audience
pretty
can pretty
much. Like
much
they expect you to be able
to
to see
look and
what's
see.
going on.
Yeah,
So,
I got you. Okay. I what was that? What was that program called? You said Tune In Radio.
tune in the radio.
Tune In
Yeah.
Radio. Okay. Is that a? Could you talk more about that? Is that like a subscription based or what is that exactly?
Oh, for sure. So basically, it allows you to listen. It's an app. It allows you to listen to any radio station, any type of radio station that you can think of, or uh, sports especially. So, me for myself, I have the premium subscription. I only pay once a year. It's just about, I would say, $70. So just to be right on point, but it's worth it in my opinion because you save a lot of money compared to doing a monthly subscription. And I like doing the yearly subscription better, simply because well, of course, baseball season goes from February all the way through October, so I utilize it every single day pretty much because
Mm-hmm.
there's always a game going on. So I would say it's pretty worth it for me.
Okay. Right on. And is there? Have you ever considered attending a game in person?
Oh, yes, for sure. I've always wanted to, and I'm still hoping to, like with the group of friends, of course. I was thinking that would be something I really want to do,
Mm-hmm.
even though I have been to one before, but that was with the California School for the Blind.
Oh, you did go. You went to a game before.
Yeah,
Was it a major league?
yes.
Oh wow, who was playing?
It was the San Francisco Giants, and I'm picking my head over here, trying to remember who the other team was. But that was back in 2017. But I do know, I'm trying to remember, but I can't. But I know they were playing at Oracle Park, which was the home of the San Francisco Giants. So,
Oh wow, I did not know that. Okay, so how? All right, so how? I guess how was that experience for you attending it in person? I know it was 6 years back, but if you can remember anything.
oh, I thought it was okay. Could have been better. If I knew more, maybe because it was my first
Mm,
time going, so I didn't really know much
right.
about it. But if I knew more, like if they had resources like the audio description headset or anything like that, then I probably would have been better prepared.
I got you. Yeah, it reminds me of my first baseball game too in Houston. Oh man, that was an experience. But so you went with the California School for the Blind. You said.
Oh yeah, it was during like a 1 week summer activity academy type of thing. So I was there, and then that was one of the nighttime activities on one of the
Okay.
days that we were there.
How was the crowd? Was the crowd big?
Oh yeah, they were wild. You could tell they were really into it.
Yeah, I bet. I bet. Okay. How was it navigating with your cane?
Um, especially since it was very crowded. I thought it was like sort of tricky, but luckily we had like assistants working with us. Like
Okay.
they were they were sighted, but so they kind of helped us a little
Okay.
bit. But
All right. Right on. Well, that's pretty cool. At least you got that experience, that exposure to actually be in the stands and I guess cheer on. I know your team wasn't playing, but just Be
Nah, it's
loud.
okay. I definitely still enjoyed it nonetheless. I mean, just
Yeah,
to be out there and just to, it's totally different when you're in person than listening to the radio stream. But I mean, you get into it either way.
I
So,
bet. Right. Did you buy any food there?
oh, I think we did. It was like barbecue ribs and
Oh
stuff.
wow. Okay. Right on.
Yeah.
Right on. Right on. Wow. Okay. So you mentioned audio descriptive headsets. Are there any well, I guess there's headsets, but could you talk about some resources that are available that you might know of to help people who are totally blind or visually impaired? I guess when they're viewing these live games in person.
Oh, I would say, well, I actually really, I didn't know that they had the audio description headsets, but I guess it might be in like certain places.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely, if you can get access to it, or if anybody who's listening can get access to it when you're at a live game, like definitely check in, like with who would you say, like the staff members at the events and see if
Yeah.
they know anything about it.
Yeah.
And hopefully, if they have it, then for sure, I would definitely get it. And I would definitely like to try it myself one of these days because I know they have it for movies. So,
Right. That would so what I heard actually, and I didn't find this out until after we went to the Houston Astros versus we went to back in Houston in July. We went to the Houston Astros and the Colorado Rockies game. That was actually a pretty good experience. But I was like you 6 years ago. I'm still I still am similar because I'm not a baseball person or a sports person in general. So pretty much I
oh
was
yeah,
sitting there in the crowd, and a lot of things are visual. We could hear the announcers over the speakers, but the acoustics in the ballpark wasn't really the best. So it was kind of echoing all over the place. How was it for you with the announcers? Could you understand what they were saying at that game?
I would say I kind of had the same experience. So
Yeah.
it was pretty much the same type of thing.
Yeah, yeah, that's the thing about that. If it's too echoey, then you can't really make out what they're saying. But
Yeah.
anyway, so what I found out after we left the game was that apparently they have headsets that you wear on just like the theaters, and they have a person describing what's going on in the game, and it actually might be the radio coverage of it. It could just be that.
Oh,
At
I just thought of that actually. I was thinking about that earlier as I was
Yeah,
getting ready for this thing. So I was thinking, well, it makes perfect sense because they're describing every single thing. They
right.
have people listening who are not there. They're listening on the radio, the local affiliate radio station of the specific team.
Yeah, so that's what I was also considering. It might be the just connecting to the radio feed, and actually, so at the I can't remember where were we? Oh, we were at Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas. That's where we were. And by the bathrooms, they had a bunch of speakers, and they actually had the descriptions of the game going on. But again, those were by the bathrooms, and nobody wants to hang out in the bathrooms for 3 hours straight.
Yeah,
So
no, I don't blame anybody. Yeah, no.
the only time we could hear them was when we were using the bathroom. But I thought it was pretty cool how they had the radio feed connecting to the bathroom because you can't really see it from the bathroom.
Oh yeah,
So that was pretty cool. Other than that, in the stands, not so much,
for sure. Yeah.
which is why I believe they do have those headsets. And there's also, I guess now that we're talking about accessibility devices, how is the NBA app? Do you have that app? Or not? Not NBA. What's it called? Is it called? What?
MLB.
That's what it's called. MLB. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of basketball. Yeah. Well, how is that app? Is it accessible?
Oh, I would say yes, for sure. It most definitely is. I actually have a. I mean, although I don't use it that much, well, I
Hmm.
use it just to look at the scores and the schedule and all that stuff. But I like the accessibility of it. It's really easy to navigate, and I just got a T-Mobile subscription, they give you like a for the whole season. They give you a free MLB TV for those who like to watch it. Then you can just watch it on your phone. I just got it just because it was free. So I mean, everybody likes free, so I just
Yeah.
got it just because.
Okay, right on. So you can't really view games from that app.
Well, you could, but like I said, it's more of the TV side of
Oh,
things.
it's visual. Okay.
And as far they do have the radio feeds on there as well, but I feel like the audio quality is better on TuneIn Radio for some reason. So
Hmm. All right. So that's pretty interesting how they have all these different apps and the fact that what is that app called again? I said MLB,
yeah,
the Major League Baseball app. Okay, that's interesting. That's good, and I like to hear that it's accessible. I know there's some apps out there. I think the NFL app is actually not.
no, it's not.
It's not accessible, right? Yeah, that's what I heard from a
I
bunch of.
tried it, so it
Oh,
doesn't
you
work.
you did. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what I heard from a bunch of blind people, and that's interesting. There's a lot of blind people who love football, and the fact that the NFL app is not accessible
Yeah,
is kind of mind-boggling. But anyways,
yeah.
we're getting off topic here. So why don't you tell us about your team's, I guess, division? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, division rivals.
So what? I guess who are their main rivals? Could you explain that?
Basically, so the Cardinals are part of a division. They're in the National League, so there's the National League and American League, and there's 30 teams altogether within throughout Major League Baseball. So each division has 5 teams, but in the National League Central, where the Cardinals are, I would say their closest rival would probably be the Chicago Cubs. That's probably their biggest one.
Oh wow. Okay, Chicago Cubs. Oh, what are the other teams in that division?
You have the Milwaukee Brewers, uh, Cincinnati Reds, and Pittsburgh Pirates.
Oh wow. Okay. So you said Chicago Cubs. Do they? Um, have you ever seen them play together?
Oh yes,
Oh wow. How did?
and the heat is always on during those series
I,
between them because everybody enjoys it. Everybody enjoys it.
I bet. Yeah. And is there like I guess like a kind of like a championship end of the year or end of the season kind of thing, kind of like the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah, most definitely. It's actually coming up here, well, within the next month, because we literally only have 2 weeks left of the regular season. So
Mm-hmm.
whoever wins their division, then they start in the beginning of October. Whoever wins in each division, they go into what they call the wild card playoffs. So it's going to be the American League and National League, and then whoever wins between those 4 teams. Uh, the American League and National League, then they'll go on to the World Series, which is I believe it's the best of 7 games. So at the end of October, but whoever wins the most, then and they win the series and they win the championship title. That's actually what happened last year in last year's World Series. Houston Astros defeated the Philadelphia Phillies, so they
Oh
won
wow.
all of their games.
Oh, interesting. Okay. You said the Houston Astros and who? Philadelphia.
Philadelphia Phillies.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Oh wow, cool. Okay, so you mentioned earlier something about a National League and an American League. Could you talk about that?
Oh yeah, so basically the National League and the American League is kind of similar to the NFL where they have the National Football Conference and the American Football Conference. So each team is like each one has like their different division rivals. So for example, like Chicago has 2 teams. The Cubs are in the National League, which is our division rival, and then their other Chicago team is the Chicago White Sox. They're in the American League, so that's what separates. It kind of like separates those 2 teams, like basically, and all the other teams within those different divisions. Like I know the Houston Astros are part of the American League, so they're part of the American League West. So basically, they have each one they have like a West division, East division, and a Central division.
Oh wow. Okay, that's interesting. Have you ever tried any of those fantasy apps? You know, like how there's fantasy football that I always hear people playing, and all these drafts they do. Have you ever tried fantasy baseball?
Well, actually, surprisingly, that's something I actually haven't yet, so still have yet to look into it, but might have to try and check it out and see how it is
Yeah,
as far as accessibility goes. And
if you do, let me know because I know blind people who do have the fantasy football app. I don't really know exactly how accessible it is. I never got it
same
myself.
here, me neither.
According to how they're explaining it, it does seem pretty accessible, but we'll see.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool. Okay, yeah, I was doing some research before the episode, and I found out that there's a fantasy baseball, fantasy basketball, fantasy football, of course, fantasy hockey. It was pretty interesting all the different sports they had. And as far as I know, they pretty much follow the same guidelines and all
yeah.
that. Yeah. So, have you ever played baseball before? Either an accessible version of it.
I might have tried before. I'm trying to remember, but if I didn't, then I would probably definitely like to try baseball, like beat baseball, even though it's not like the MLB and you get big money and all that. But
Yeah, I know. I do know that out of all the accessible sports, goalball I think has a national a national league. I know we used to play goalball a lot growing up, but
yes, for
yeah,
sure,
it
I
does have
remember
a
that
like a national different.
National League. Yeah,
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. So I mean, if they
that's
could make
awesome.
one like a a baseball for blind people, I know you'd be all into that.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, do you? I guess we're about to close out soon, but do you have any last words or anything you want to add on? You know,
Um.
I'm not like I said earlier. I'm not a really a sports person, but just seeing how much passion and how much you love talking about this kind of stuff. It's definitely encouraging to me, and definitely encourages our audience as well. So I truly appreciate you coming on this afternoon and talking story with us. As we draw to a close with this episode, I'd like to thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed your visit and learned useful information. We welcome your feedback at guidedogsofhawaii.org. Feel free to join us on our social medias such as Instagram and Facebook. You can find us by simply searching for Guide Dogs of Hawaii.